welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sonia and I would love it if you could subscribe, and if you're already an existing subscriber, welcome back. So today is going to be my second update for my Pan Those eyeshadows. I'm so excited because I have some really good progress to show you. I also have some pans. That means we get to roll in some new eyeshadows. A little bit of background for this project. I am working currently on 5 eyeshadows, and what I do is I randomly generate a number. I have all of my eyeshadows in a spreadsheet. So I just generate a number between one number and another number, and then we will just work on that. If I get like a darker colour, like a dark brown, a dark purple, a black or anything like that, I will put a usage goal on it, whereas anything else I will try and hit pan. The reason being for that is because I never used to wear darker colours. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more easier on myself and not make unrealistic goals when it comes to darker eyeshadows, so I usually put usage goals on those. This project, I'm so happy. Last month I felt like I was feeling a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure what I think and whether I want to keep doing this. I found a way now where it really helps me to use other stuff in my collection, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this project going all the way throughout the year. It just takes a little bit of time to use up eyeshadow. That's the thing with this project, it's meant to be a little bit difficult. Now, the person that created this was Alexi. I will leave her channel below. She's also doing it this year. She's doing it a little bit differently to the way that I'm doing it. There's so many people that do this project, it's so exciting. I usually pretty much binge watch these, so I love any sort of projects. Anyway, let's get into it. What I do is I mark down every time I use the eyeshadow, but what I will say is I only mark it down once. So if I dip my brush into the eyeshadow 5 times, I only count it as one use. That's just the way that I work it. It's different for everyone. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable, but that's the way that I like, and it was Chicky Geek that inspired me to do it that way. So let's get started. I'm going to do it in the order that I have written down here. So the first one I want to talk about is this, and this is the I Heart Revolution Peanut Butter Cup. This one last month I was really close on hitting pan. What I will do, I can't remember which side, I usually put it this side I think, but it might be this side either way. I will put progress pictures from when I introduced it to where I'm at now, and what I will try and do now, because there's going to be quite a few photos now, I will try and put below like the intro, the first update, the second update. But I was so close last month to hitting pan on this, and I can quite happily say I now have pan. So I got the colour Chunk, and hopefully you can see that, but I now have pan. And what's the most frustrating thing about this is I only use this one more time and I hit pan. So I was, like I said last month, I was very, very close to hitting it anyway. I'm just so happy that I've hit pan. What I will say is, once I hit pan, I stop working on that eyeshadow. That's just how I want to work it. I've got another colour very similar to this in this project as well, so I wanted to give that other one a little bit more love. Once I hit pan, I stop working on it. That's just the way that I do it, because then I get to use other eyeshadows in my collection. This formula doesn't take long to hit pan on, it seems. I really like this palette. I do also use the other colours in the palettes as well to kind of just create a look. So that will be the first one that we will be rolling out. The next one I want to talk about is this, and this is the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette, and I had the colour Whipped Cream, and I'm quite happy to say I have hit pan on this one as well. Now, this colour I did use to set my eyes every time I did makeup, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it with the lights and stuff. I'm so surprised I hit pan. When I hit pan on this, I was like, oh my god. And the reason being is because Too Faced is known for having quite deep pans. And maybe it's just because I used this to set my eyes that it's a bit different to the other shade, which I'm more likely to think that is the case. But I did use this 15 times more before I did hit pan. And I didn't use a lot of this shade really when it came down to it. I definitely dip into more of the other shades. I'm so happy we have another pan. It just makes me feel so much better when I have pan in my eyeshadows, because you can clearly see that you are using it. And I feel like if I were to focus on this, I would most probably be able to finish this year, but like I said, that isn't what this project is. So that is another eyeshadow we can roll out. I love, love, love this palette. I think I've said this in every single update, but I just love the colour story of this. I love everything in it, and I just love Too Faced formula anyway, so happy to have that. And this was, so one thing to note is these two palettes were completely new to my collection, so I hadn't even used these palettes before either, so I'm really happy to have pan. The next one I want to talk about is this, and this is the Revolution Pro New Neutrals palette. The colour I had in this was Majestic, and this one was a darker colour. So again, like I said, I have the usage goal of 20 on this, and in the last update I used this 5 times, and in this update I also used it 5 times. So this will be staying in the project, and I'm going to have to use it 10 more times, which I think is going to be a lot easier in the next month, and I think hopefully in the next update we can roll this one out. But I did use, like I said, I used this 5 more times this month, but there is a reason why I used it so little. But it is also like a deep plum shade, but I can definitely see usage on this. Prior to doing this project, I would have never even reached for that. I would have been like, no, I'm not using that. This is really helping me to come out of my comfort zone. So yeah, this is one that will be staying in, and you'll also be happy to know I did take pictures before I'm going to swatch. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a swatch of this. So this is the one we are currently keeping in. That is only one swipe. I haven't built it up, but it's just, even though it's like the darker plum colour, it's definitely more easy to work with, which is great for beginners like me, so I really like that. Okay, the next eyeshadow I was working on came from this Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, and I got the colour Dark Side, and I used this 8 times last month. And I'm happy to report I used it 12 times, which is why I had so little progress on the other one, is because I was focused on this one and trying to use this 20 times, and I have. So that is another eyeshadow we're going to be rolling out, which I'm so happy about. This one I think definitely complemented more eyeshadow looks, with it being just more of a like a grey black colour compared to like a deep plum. So this one definitely went with a lot more looks, but again, it was still a dark eyeshadow that I was pretty daunted when I first rolled this in, but I'm really happy that I got 20 uses out of this. And this is one of my oldest eyeshadows. I got this for my birthday, I don't know how long ago now, but I've had this a long time and I definitely need to be getting some use out of it, so I'm so glad I've used that eyeshadow. And last but no means least, we have this, and this is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, and I got the colour Morning. Now I can definitely see more progress on this. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it here. All of these you'll most probably be able to see much better in the photos, but I can definitely see progress happening here now, which makes me feel so much better. And with this one, I used it 16 times over the month, and I've also been using other colours in here. Like I said, this one I was mainly focusing on because I did hit my goal on the Revolution one. I was focusing on this one more, so yeah, I'm really happy with this. Like I said, no pan. This is the goal for this one, to hit pan, so we're not quite there yet, and I don't think we'll be there next month either, but hopefully, fingers crossed, the month after that we might have some pan. This one will be staying in as well, and I will just swatch this. So that is the colour. I usually top it with like this colour, which is Morgan, just to make it a little bit more brown, because otherwise it can be a little bit yellow. But as we're coming into spring and stuff, this will be perfect to just like use without needing that other shade. So this one will be staying in as well. What we're going to do is we're going to roll in 3 new eyeshadows. I'm so excited. I'm going to set up the Pretty Random app now, and I'm going to do it between 2 and 750, and the reason it's 2 is because I have headers. So hopefully you can see this. I'm going to try and like point it down, so hopefully you can see it a little bit more. I'm not sure how well you will. Ignore this number, this just kind of generates. So we have 320. Hopefully you can see that. We have 136, and we have 514. The numbers we pulled was 320, 136 and 514. So what I'm going to go and do now is go and look on my spreadsheet, and then we'll grab those palettes and I'll show you which eyeshadow I'll be working on and what my goals will be, whether it be hitting pan or a usage goal. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the palettes here with me now, and we will go through all the different eyeshadows. And what I will do when we talk about them is I will set myself the goal of either hitting pan or a usage. The first number we got was 320, and this came from this palette, and this is my Primark Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs palette. This is my favourite Disney movie. I bought this from Primark more as a collector, which I don't want to be doing going forward, so I am going to pull this one out. I'm not a huge fan of the quality of this, but I'm definitely going to use it. And the colour that I got was Prince, is this one here. So with this being a bit more of a darker colour, I'm going to set myself a usage goal of 20 on this. I think that's just what's going to be best for me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to swatch it on my hand. So it looks like this. So this one actually goes really well with the Revolution one, with the colour. So if I wanted to do like a bit more of a darker colour, I could put that one underneath and then that one, because it's, I would definitely say it's not shimmery, but it's got a bit of a shift to it. Really, really happy with that one. And like I said, I'm going to set myself a usage goal of 20 on that one. So that was the first one we pulled. The next one we got was 136. And this was from the I Heart Revolution Dragon Heart palette. Sorry, it's a really, really reflective palette. And this one doesn't have names, so I just went off numbers. And with this, I went like 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. And I actually got number 6, which is this one here. And I'm actually, I know it looks very similar to the last one, but I do think I'm actually going to keep this one in until I hit pan. I have used this palette before and it doesn't take long to hit pan in these shades, but I have used that shade, as you can see. And I think this one is definitely different to the other ones. I can definitely put this in my crease and feel comfortable doing that. That is that shade. And like I said, I'm going to keep this in until I hit pan. And last but no means least, we got number 514, and that was from my Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. This one's going to be a challenge because, like I said, for Too Faced eyeshadows, it is difficult to hit pan. They are quite tightly pressed, but the colour I got in this was Oh Snap. I can definitely work with this colour, this one here, and I can definitely work with this. And for that reason, I'm going to be keeping it in until I hit pan. So I've had to, because I've already filled up room here, it's this colour here. This is actually a lot more lighter than I thought it would be, and I think all of those colours work together really well. I am happy with that colour story, and like I said, I will keep this in until I hit pan. It took a couple of months to hit pan in the other one, but I think, like I said, that one was to set my eyes. So this one, it might be in a little bit longer, but again, I love the Too Faced formula, so I'm okay with that. That was my update for my Pan Those eyeshadows. I'm so happy that we could roll more eyeshadows in, and I'm getting use out of the other ones, and I'm really happy with this colour story. I think it all works really well together. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe if you don't already, and I would love to know below your thoughts and opinions. I love to interact with you in my comments, and as always, the update for this will be around the same time next month, so please stick around if you like this type of content. And until my next video, thank you for coming by. See you later.